Hello everyone, I'm Niharika Mehra and welcome to Grade B. So now in this video we are going to practice some to previous year पूछे गए RBI grade में. These case questions for which require the learning part like idiom based, phrase based. So get ready to do some good practice over here. Timer आप लोग पे रहेगा and we are going to start with para jumble. Very important and interesting topic. एक पैरा जंबल जब पूछा जाता है आप लोगों so you get at least 5 questions or 4 questions that question. So you solve and you rearrange the sentences into a you are good to go. If it is correct, you are good to go, and you can easily score 4 to 5 marks. This is the first question. This is the instruction. Go through it. फिर मैं आपको क्वेश्चन बताती हूँ, अदरवाइज आपको शो नहीं होगा. I give you some time. 2-3 instruction. अच्छे से पढ़िए. Read it carefully, and then I'll show you the question where the sentence is given to. Okay, there you go. I'm going to give 3.5 minutes. Go through it. Start arranging. Pay attention. You can one sentence with the another. Is there any connect? Focus on the keywords. One, go in depth reading wise. You have to read every single proper noun given. Need to read enough so that connect one sentence to the other one. The first one answer A. DCB was fixed and there was one odd. I'll show you the instruction. One of these sentences redundant means an odd sentence आपको इसमें दिया गया था. That means only 5 were to be and B was already fixed, so half of the work was done for you. Now A says 13 grams of the gas. Now which gas are you talking about? I should first, and that's why this cannot be the first. The finding, now B is fixed at second position, so before the finding there should be finding or something that was discovered by someone, and that is to be mentioned before B. A satellite has detected, detect, find, all of the things are same and the same. So the satellite has detected one release of methane from the site, and this happened. So this is the finding. Finding को ही यहाँ the finding बोला जा रहा है. So E and B we get pair. Okay. Now it's another indication of the scope of problem of curbing something. Now there is something, another keyword given by contrast. The highest rate at another place, a natural gas storage, was about something that was 60 metric tons an hour. You can see here that by contrast, that means something that is opposite to this information used before. You can see there is a figure given 60 metric tons. Here we have 87 metric tons. So in the context of how much gas was there, here we are getting two numbers. One is in contrast to the other one. You have D and C, you have one pair. You have E and B, another pair. A says 13 plumes of gas are observed. So this is still the part of finding. E and B are pair. You cannot separate them, and this A is still that piece of information that gives us the finding part. Okay, and that's why I will not put A after D and C, but I'll put it before D and C. After this, after talking about the finding altogether, then we will move on to more information that is in the form of numbers over here, and that's how you get EADC. Mr. White, we don't know who is this person, why we are talking about this person, and it was not known how long the releases continued. So this one F is irrelevant here, though we get some common words. But why we are talking about White? Who is Mr. White? There are so many questions unanswered, and that's the reason F1 is the odd one out. That's your next question. Again, a parajumble. These are the questions taken from previous years, so you can understand the difficulty level, the way question is asked, how you will be doing. The instruction is given right in the beginning, and after that the question is, make sure in your exam you always and always go through the properly, because you may get a new pattern, you may that is going to change the way answer is to be given. Make sure you're reading the instruction properly. So this time, any here the answer that you have, I'll quickly A, F, D. Now A says activity, whatever these activities are more than name them, should mention them before. Otherwise, it's the and then plural point. Okay, we'll see to later. I still remember how difficult it was in algebra. So here's a story, an experience by the author. That could be the beginning. Student engage refers to the degree. See, D gives us the term student engagement. And what is the student engagement? In C, we get to see the definition of what exactly it refers to. So we have a strong over here. We may not know where to use somewhere. Until the day our teacher brought. So D and E are also related. Again, R was different. I something a part of the experience. Then B and E will come together. D and but the only difference was attention concentration. Go ahead and read. The only difference and but after but we have contrasting. So difference is mentioned before but something positive have given, then only I can say that only negative point was so and so. So the activities taught us the same thing that the teacher was trying. The projector was got made education learning a fun activity. So here we get to see there were some activities also. Okay. After A, we F. A and F are contrast. There were some good parts, but the difference was attention and concentration. So negative thing. You have one pair DC. And E starts with so B and E are pair and B is the first one. That is the only possibility. So E becomes the second one. D and C will be after A and F because here we are talking about attention and concentration. Okay. Now why was this difference there? Why was the problem there? In that case only I'll go ahead and explain the problem. The visuals made the learning simple and intuitive. They refer to the degree of attention, everything. Attention and concentration was one of the matter, and how this affected the students, that is meant in D and C. That's the reason that whatever difference may not be the negative, but a difference. See, difference doesn't mean the difference has to be a negative one only. Okay, difference is something that we don't expect in a regular routine. That is what is explained in D and C, and the answer is B, A, F, D. Let's move on to the next one. This is a bit lengthier one, but I'll try giving you 15 seconds extra. I want you to write and complete it in the given time, that is of 3 minutes. I would like to encourage you all to focus on the keywords and how you can connect and make pairs first. Don't go directly the way where you are arranging the whole paragraph altogether. Do it in steps, okay? Keywords should click quickly in your mind. Okay. Here, what do we get? Answer is C, A, D, F. Other resources are also not just other, but also word indicates A cannot be the first one. Okay. So other resources are also heavily overexploited in many of these regions. Again, then only I can use it over here. The government finance for well digging and pump installation and all these things have enabled this process. Again, the first process पहले बताया गया होगा, then only this makes any sense. Groundwater is the backbone. Introduction of groundwater and the topic will be taking forward, which will be explained in the later part. C is the only one that could be the first one. Okay. In the alluvial areas, all these places, water table keeps falling. Now this is the negative thing increasing. Keep that in mind. The past 4 decades have witnessed erosion in well numbers for irrigated farming. So see, arid means dry, semi. So dry regions will require explosion in well number. Well is कुआं वाला well है. That's why we will require for irrigation more and more water, and for that more wells. So C and E, we have a pair. 4 decades may these regions which are dry, they required more of water source, and that's why well को खोदा गया. So C and E, C being the first, E becomes the F says, but in the hard rock areas of the are rampant well failure. See, table keeps falling, and you're mentioning some of the regions. Then again, some of the regions you're mentioning, it is worse there. Moreover, takes the same tone in a bit in increased intensity tone of the previous sentence. So D and F we pair. We don't know whether to put it at the end or not, but we have a pair. C and E we know where to put. Now, this says past 4 decades have the government finance for digging all these enabled this process. What's the process? That irrigated farming done because of which wells are required. This is the process explained in CN. So this process makes sense when I mentioned already that why it is needed, why wells are being dug. Okay, and other sources also heavily overexploited. Which regions? Arid region. So after completing everything about well, we are talking about some other resource. वो वाली बात हम एक बार पहली बात पूरी बता दे फिर EBA, these four will give you the idea of the scenario going. And then D and F may be narrow down. So narrow down is what inverted pyramid. First explain. Okay, that is in a broader perspective. If you start naming particular, if you start giving numbers, you narrow things down, give detail later on. That's why F as a pair just at the end, not anywhere in the between, because the flow we don't want to break. Okay, that's your answer. Now we'll do some connectors question. Please go through it. It's not that tough. You have options, and I would like to understand those two sentences given. I'll give this and try to connect things with in first and the second sentence. Then measure. Now, finally, something has been discussed. Second, members to extend education. Second was is in contrast. Finally, help. Now it says, okay, go through the instruction. Find the correct option that could connect these two the meaning. not given to be in the beginning or okay? So BIMSTEC has found, although there are some they are yet to give their support, they are yet to support. अभी तक final फिर कैसे हो गया if support is still pending? How come things became final? So two things are in opposite. Okay, one thing I could have used however also connect two contradictory things. So please understand, when you don't have this instruction that you have the connector in between or in the beginning, we consider that better to put it in between, like first and then the connector and then the second sentence. This part that some to extend, get to extend some, this is the main clause. Okay, there will be secondary clause, that subordinate. So some members yet to do something, although some members are not yet in support, something has finally taken place. So the second sentence here is the main clause, and to connect this main clause I need although. I cannot use however before the second statement, and that's why D is your answer. So not just the purpose of connector but the placement of connector. Enough time given. Earlier in March, the deal temporary. The second thing is happening. Putting thing on hold means to wait, and then it waits for the social media right move. Something is happening in the same time frame. He's putting deal on, so the deal is now taking time. At the same time, the time part in which he's waiting for some other company to provide more. Two things happening parallelly, and that's how while is used to connect such things. One thing happening while this guy is waiting, another thing to take place, and that's the only option that makes. Okay, there are nearly 500 plus heritage buildings dotting the skyline of Mysuru. 150 are notified, so 500 first in, and from the numbers it's out of 500, 150 are notified. So out of is not given option. That's the only fact. The other way to say out of which means 150 out of 500, 500 of which up from the 500 there are 150 that are notified. From that, and then see who makes no sense. They make no sense, and here is numbers playing the main role. That's the only type of information given over here based on numbers. Then yeah, be the right answer. No explanation is required for this one. A, more knowledge required in such a question. read properly what given and was asked in, I think, 19. So an idiom is given, that is get a second wind. And you need to mark the sentences accurately represent the answer. So if you know the meaning of idiom, then are going to answer such a question in exam, you will be able to answer the question on the basis of this thing that you know the answer, you know the meaning or not. So get a second win. The answer here is only the second one. After reaching a halt in his work, he found himself able to work again after taking. In the situation where you are doing something, you were doing something, and you continue to do it, uh, as you regain the strength, as you might be tired, you might be at a point where you are thinking, but then something happens and you regain that energy. That is getting a second win. It's like powering up. That is explained only in second one. Even after dissatisfactory reports on his work, his manager decided to give him another chance. So this is something unexpected happening, not what we want. And the third one says he disinvested from the stocks after he saw another prices going. So this another, again, not the scenario. A person is recharging himself or herself, getting back with more energy, something which was already started. Only the second. Let's quickly do this one. I won't be giving for this because it's not that tough and the question is quite easy. But again, remember in exam, if you know the meaning of attempts or questions, otherwise please don't take a risk. And ideally, you should be well prepared with idioms and phrases before you appear in the exam, before you take the exam. The idiom here is like two peas in a pot. It's a very popular one. We shows where this is used. Okay, and answer here, what we get is only the third one. Two peas in a pot means two things which are similar to each other, which are very alike, or maybe people, two persons who are very similar to each other. So two boys join the firm at the same time can always be found hanging out together. So they are two peas in a pot, always together, similar to each other in their actions. वो साथ साथ ही मिलेंगे. So this is only the third one, the third situation which makes any sense. First one says Tim left the party immediately after John did, following in his footsteps. One person following another is not two peas in a pod. Okay, so this is how it is. First one cannot be considered. Something happened. Okay, following in his footstep means one person copied what the other person. It's not like both of them are always together, always doing the similar task or something. It's just a one time thing and something being done in the same manner as the other person did. So first is not what we are looking here at. As soon as the waves subsided, they both realized they were lost and stranded in open sea. Something again, those two people realized. They realized the same thing. That doesn't make them two people who are alike, always together. They will be doing the same kind of things. It's not indicating that. It's just one thing, and both of them realize the same thing. Doesn't make any sense. It is the third one. This would be your last question. This one should be easy again. This is the uh, famous one. Okay. Once bitten, twice shy. Read the situations and try to figure out which situation is giving you the meaning of the idiom. That's how you should till now. Anyways, the last question. So first and the third one. Once bitten, twice shy. He is very cautious while crossing the road after just having recovered from a road accident injury. हम हिंदी में बोलते हैं दूध का जला छाछ भी फूक फूक कर पीता है. So here it is, once you have experienced something, you are going to be extra cautious about the same thing being repeated. This is what is happening in the first one. Third one says the firm has refrained from actively investing in stocks ever since suffering loss. Once you have had bad experience, you will be cautious and careful from next time. You will think twice the next time, and that's what is the meaning of once bitten, twice shy. Second one says after failing the test, he decided to study diligently. So this is not where, of course, the first part, failing the test, is a negative thing. Okay, it's not like he will be careful in how he failed the next time. He fails the next time, right? It's not like that. He is correcting his mistake, failing the test. Now, how he should correct it? He should study more, but very soon went back to his old habits. And the third part of the sentence is he went back into his old routine, old bad habits. So he is actually not being careful here. He decided to rectify the mistake. Okay, it's not like the second time something new happened and he was cautious about it, and that's the reason answer is both first the third one but not the second one. So for such questions, you have to go through the complete sentence, understand the complete scenario given to you, and then you would mark your answer. That's it for this video. Thank you so much, and all the best for your exam. Keep practicing till the day before your exam. That would help you to keep things fresh in your mind, to sharpen you. And yes, don't forget to like and share. Do comment. And what was your score out of all the questions which were given here? Subscribe our channel if you haven't till now. Bye bye. Take